Being here, this is a thrill. Look, one of the great benefits of the way Brian Grazer and I have now framed Imagine Entertainment as a business model is this opportunity that we have to broaden our own horizons creatively, but also who we get to work with. And on this film, it's been such a thrill to collaborate with Steven, with Kathy and Frank, you know, Amblin and Lucasfilm combined with Imagine. It's been great. On the Imagine documentary side, big thanks to Sarah, Justin, Meredith, Michael, of course Brian Grazer couldn't be here tonight. Director Lauren Boozlerau, great job on this film. Did so much to recognize John Williams as a complex, dimensionalized human being. You know, those of us who've been lucky enough to know and work with John over the years, know this about him. Look, I've been kind of in his universe for decades, even when I didn't know it. For example, John let me know that he scored an episode of Craft Theater that my father Rance was in the mid-50s. John worked on The Music Man. I did too. I was Little Winthrop, the kid with the lisp. Oh, the Wells Fargo wagon hither, coming down the street. Oh, please let it be for me. It could be something for someone who is no relation, but it could be something special just for me. I did that for John in hopes that he'd somehow hear it through the book. And I saw the audience, pardon me. But all that is to just say that what Laurent captured is this understanding of the way John is capable of communicating and reaching audiences and collaborating with filmmakers. And he's a very complex figure. He's a number of things. He's very humble, and yet he's brilliant. He's a genius. He's very, very kind, and yet he's driven as an artist. He's a taskmaster. And Ron, thank you for your film. You really captured all that, and you're going to see that in a moment. And to the maestro himself, I just have to thank him for allowing us, for trusting us to have this honor of telling this story. And now to somebody who knows him far better than I do, Steven.
Thank you. First of all, I want to thank Bob Gazzali and the AFI board and everyone for doing something they've never done before, which is to open the AFI Festival with a documentary. That is a wonderful thing, a wonderful precedent to really be able to, place the documentary form exactly where it belongs, right up alongside the narrative form. So thank you very much for that. And Laurent Bouzlerau, Laurent started with me doing B-roll. B-roll is when you're making a movie and some guy runs around with a 16mm Eclair camera and a Nagra recorder and a microphone and tries to get you to pretend you're directing a movie, so later, when the movie comes out, they can show what it was like behind the scenes. This is how Laurent started with me, and since then he's become a very, very serious filmmaker. And in this year alone, to be able to have brought out the documentary Faye, about Faye Dunaway, and now to have done this, which you will see in a few minutes, I cannot express my admiration for where he has been and how far he's come, and the great work that he's done. John and I, up to the time we got very busy about 2 years ago, John and I, twice a year, for sometimes 7 years running, we would hold concerts for orchestras as a fundraiser, to raise money for orchestras, because they're always in desperate need of funding. We would go all around the country and we would do an evening of film music. And I think the lesson that I've learned by shooting film and then looking at my movie with no music is a lesson we tried to convey to the audiences in each one of these concerts. And what I would do is, I would take a scene that they know, perhaps the opening sequence from Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, and I would play it for the audience of 1,000 people with no music, only sound effects and Foley and some dialogue, and that's it. And the opening of that movie is about 4 minutes long, and when you see the opening of Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade without music, that 4 minutes feels like 14 minutes. It's full of action. You should be entertained, but it just drags. Then, John's at the podium, we've got the Chicago Symphony Orchestra, the Philadelphia Symphony Orchestra, the LA Phil, the New York Phil, whatever evening we're performing in front of. Then John, we run that 4 minutes again. John brings down the baton, and that 4 minutes suddenly feels like a minute and a half. And that is the miracle of film scoring, and that is the consistent miracle of John Williams and what he has brought to all of our movies and how he's elevated them and brought them out to all of you, where often you might even leave a film that John Williams has scored, and a week later you may forget the film, but you will never forget the music. Yeah, a few of my films, people say, I really love the score. Where's that from? But I just want to be able to say that and to lead into the screening, that I love John. He is much more of a dear family friend, a family member. He's the greatest creative partner I have ever had. In the 52 years John and I have been working together, him scoring my films in this industry, this is the greatest partner I have ever had in the creative arts. So please sit back or lean forward and enjoy the life of John Williams. Thank you.